Yes, welcome to the African Liberation Station, the place where we always, yes, seek to liberate your mind. See, truly another great uprising, another great day. See, it is always an honor to be here. See it. Yeah, man, give thanks to the ancestors, give thanks for life, liberty, power, strength, guidance in all things. Seeing? Yeah, man, it's another wonderful day. They call it a Friday. See, we're not frying anything. We just come forward to bring forth the message as usual. See it. So we're giving thanks for life, in the oneness. Yeah, man, I give thanks to nature and the ancestors. See it. It's always a pleasure to be here. Seeing, yes, man, we were standing there, standing, give thanks, I have forward in the house, see it. Yeah, man, and everyone that is forward in the house, yes, give thanks, see, grand uprising, my brethren, grand uprising, give thanks, Yeah, man, this is the place and the space where we want to be. Those of us who are coming into the fullness of self, you see it. Yeah, the mind, the enslaved mind, we really have to get rid of it. You see what I'm saying is, and we're going to talk about how we're going to get rid of this enslaved mind. Because this is the thing that most of us not understanding the importance of shedding that mind that does not belong to you, that mind that was forced upon you, that mind that you live in that is not you. You see what I'm saying? It is not you. And so therefore we have to come into the place now where we have to change the whole dynamics of what is happening. You see what I'm saying is, yeah, man, give thanks for the item to forward in. And so we're going to talk about this tonight. And it is very, very important. Like I said, I'm going to talk about things where we are not really diving in and seeing where the issues are and how we need to change these things. You see what I'm saying is for the betterment of the next generation, for the betterment of yourself right now while you are here. You have to go in. You see what I'm saying? In order to change this. And this is what they don't want you to do. They don't want you to connect with yourself. Especially for those who have children. You have to understand the importance. The importance, yes. Yeah, man, give thanks from out of the UK. Yeah. I give thanks for the island forwarding, see it. And so, as I'm saying, is especially for those who have children, those of us with children, we have to see the need to free the minds of our children. We have to see the need to bring forth the message to help our children to see the importance of connecting with self. And some of the ways that we are going to do this is where we have to help our children in a unique way where most of us never think of it before. But the reality is that you have to change the way that your parents raise you. Because our parents raise us in ignorance. Let's not fool ourselves. Our parents really raise us in ignorance because the thing is, a lot of the things that we do and our parents did to us by beating us, is actually an abuse. It's an enslaved position that you were raised in. Because you don't supposed to be beating your children. No. And then you call it discipline. No. It is actually evil and wickedness. You don't need to beat children into submission or into subjection. No, you don't. That is enslavement. That is plantation mentality. Why do you think your children are so afraid of you? Do you think your children are supposed to be afraid of you? Do you really think it's a good idea that when your children they have an issue, they are afraid to approach you, they are afraid to come to reason with you? Do you think that's a great idea? See, these are the things that we have to come to and realize that we need to make some major changes within ourselves. Because melanated children, they are afraid. Most melanated children are afraid of their parents. because a system were created to make sure this is the case. When you see any other races of children, they're not afraid of their parents. They're not, because you see, they didn't teach them fear. They don't teach them fear like that. Why do you think that these children will do things that you won't do, that your children won't do, that even you as adult won't do? Because you are in fear. You fear everything. You are in fear of everything, and that is the danger. That is what the system wants. The system wants you to be that way. Because when you are that way, then the system can control you. You realize it is even to the point where when you look at these so-called European children, they control their parents. And I'm not telling you that it is for children to control parents. No, there's ways for you to deal with discipline outside of this beating and brainwashing. You see what I'm saying is because you can abuse your children even by the way that you talk to them. You can abuse them, and we have to stop these things. We have to change these things. This is what I'm saying. We have to stop calling abuse discipline. Why do you think our children become the way they become? The school, when I used to go to school, they beat you into, I mean, the least mistake they say you make, it's a beat down. How does these things work? Do you think that these things are good things? For a student that's supposed to be going to a class to be afraid of the teacher because they're afraid they get something wrong. Yes, Melissa, greetings, my sister. More love and life, you know? Yeah, you imagine that. That these are the things that we do, but it is from the plantation. And so we have to change this enslaved mentality within our children. Our children should never be afraid to come to us and explain and express themselves to us. Let me tell you something. Growing up in Jamaica, lots of young girls get pregnant. And why they get pregnant? They get pregnant because they grew up in ignorance. And then the parents blaming the child for the ignorance that they teach the child. Because if a child go to the parents and say, so where did I come from? The parents will tell you that, oh yeah, they get you at the market or give you some foolish story. Because to them, the way the system set it, intimacy or what they call sexual relation is a shame. Is like something shameful because of this religious aspect of a system that put in place. It make it like it's something that is disgraceful and it is a shame. Something that is wonderful and something that bring forth another life. They make it seems like it is something disgraceful. And because of children who were brought up in ignorance and an enslaved mentality, you see what I'm saying is, the point is now, these children, when certain things happen, maybe a older man approach them, these children don't understand what is happening. Because the parents they themselves grew up in ignorance and so they weren't enlightened. Because their parents had an enslaved mind. And so, how long are we going to carry on this enslaved mentality in our children? How long are you going to make your children live in a fear-based state? How long are you going to live in a fear-based state? Of course, yeah, they force marriage, they force all of these things on you. You see what I'm saying? They force you into things that you're not interested in. You see what I'm saying is that is why a lot of young girls, young boys don't get to really develop themselves properly, even before they start to thinking about intimacy or sexual relations, as you call it. You see what I'm saying? Because of curiosity. You see what I'm saying? Is because your parents, they lied to you because they were lied to. And they carry on this behavior for generation after generation. It's been going on. You see what I'm saying? Next thing you see, this young girl get pregnant, and it's a huge problem. The parents will be beating these young girls and all of these things. But really and truly, it is your fault as a parent why these things happen. It is not the child's fault. It is not, because you didn't enlighten them. You didn't give them what they needed to know themselves, to understand what is going on, to be able to say no to something that they are not ready for. How is it that you can be beating this child when you didn't give them the information to protect them? The whole system that we live in, it intentionally do these things to us as a people. And so we have to break the cycle of the enslaved mind. As I said, as a people, remember the importance that you didn't learn anything in your original language. You didn't. A language, even the language that you speak doesn't belong to you. It was forced upon you that you couldn't learn in the original tongue that your ancestors spoke before you. This is what I'm saying is these are the issues that we are dealing with today. So now we have to change this whole narrative. This is what I'm saying. And sometimes we who brought to the West, who grew up in the West, we talk about Africans, but the Africans are no different because they didn't go to school and learn in their own language, even though a lot of them speak a lot of African, languages and dialects. They didn't learn none of this in school. Everything that they know about their language was spoken at home, not in a classroom. These are the things that we are talking about. You see what I'm saying? These are the things. And only you can change it. Only you can correct this issue. Because it's a serious issue, mind you. You see what I'm saying? It is a very serious issue because we have to start from the basic. It is right down there at the base where we have to start. You can't build a house without the foundation. And in order for things to change for us, we have to go to the very foundation, to the core, and that's where we have to start. In order to fix the problem and the issues that we are dealing with, we must go to the core base of what the problem is. Because we can't continue down this road and think anything is going to change for the better. No, you have to change it. As I said, these children that is being born now, they're not, you can't lie to them anymore. They don't want to hear lies. They want you to tell them the truth that they can develop into something great and someone great and powerful. That is what you need to aspire for your children. Stop giving them false information. Stop lying to your children. Stop lying to yourself first and foremost, because that is where it starts. It starts with you. Stop lying to yourself about these things. Check information. Start to do some research for yourself. What does even your mind is saying to you? You know, a lot of times our very inner self is talking to us. Our very inner self is saying to us, you know, this information that you have is not correct. You know, these things that they are teaching you is not correct. But you don't want to go against the grain because to you, no, it's the wrong thing to do. You are afraid. Fear ripples you. Fear, everything about, you see, these are the people. They don't teach their children to fear machineries. They don't teach their children to fear riding on a airplane, right? Doing all these different things. They don't teach their children that. But we teach our children that because we are afraid. Have you ever been on a plane? Have you ever been on a airplane and it hit turbulence and see how we react versus how everyone else react? I remember flying from Jamaica. are flying from America to Jamaica. Every time the plane lands, everyone is clapping and thanking God, like it's God fly the plane. And if the plane any turbulence, oh, everyone is bawling out, Jesus, Jesus, help us. Lord Jesus, help us. Where? When has Jesus ever come? You ever seen him come inside of a plane or underneath a plane and removing the turbulence? No. It's all in the hands of the pilot. You see what I'm saying? These are the things that we are talking about. You see, these are the things that we are talking about. Only you can change these things. They're not going to change them for you. You see what I'm saying? So you got to recognize that this fear stop you from doing all of these things. And most of us, I give you an instant, most of you, if you sit there and you see in a plane, even with your son or your daughter, and they say to you, you know, I want to be a pilot. Boy, stop talking foolishness. You're not gonna be any pilot. You don't see it's white people flying these things. Like you don't have the capability to do these things. And it's not as technical or as intricate as you think it is. You see what I'm saying? It's not. They make it look like it because they don't want you to attempt to even try it. You see what I'm saying? Is when you have your children, you should let them know that you should not help to place any limitation on your children. Because that's what you do. Fear places limitation. Don't step out of line. Don't step out of this boundary that have been set for you. You see what I'm saying? This is what they are saying. You see? So we have to come into that place where we stop this madness, this mental enslavement of ourselves and our children. You see what I'm saying? On the continent of Africa, Africans, a lot of times when you see, they think that these people have done them some great things, but the only great things these people has done to you is the greatest harm that you can ever imagine these people has done to you. They have committed great harm against you. This is what they always do. And an African man or an African woman does not look at themselves and think that they are brilliant. No, the Chinese are brilliant. The Europeans are brilliant. The Indians are brilliant. And what about you? It's fear why you think the way you do. Misinformation. And even though these people, they don't teach their children fear, they teach them how to shoot guns from their little children and all these different things. That's not what I'm telling you to do. I'm just showing you. When you see their child go to ride a roller coaster or to go do some things that you think is, oh man, I'm going to die if I go on this thing. They don't teach their children these things. You see what I'm saying? They will go take their child and teach it to fly an airplane when the child is very small. Because as long as the child is able to even steer a car, they'll put it around the steering wheel. You and I is not going to do that because we are in fear. And if your child go around the steering wheel of your car, instead of you say you will teach the child to drive, you were ready to beat the child, discipline the child, so to speak, instead of you say, no, come let me teach you how to drive this car proper. Come let me show you how to use this equipment in the proper and the right way. These are the things that we must do. You see what I'm saying? That's it. They do. They have a different mindset. You see what I'm saying they want to teach their children how to fight you, how to be your boss, how to be in control of you. That is what they do. But you're not going to teach your child how to be in charge of anything because you feel like you are less than and your child is less than. So therefore, your child should not aspire to become someone great, someone for them to look up to, someone for them to respect, for them to dignify. You don't think that because you don't think that you deserve that because you are less than. That is the reality. Whether you want to accept it, yes or no, it is the truth. This is what I'm saying. So it is too much fear mongering among us. We don't need to be in fear. Fear of what? Fear is an illusion. It is what they teach you. For you to be afraid, not to be even afraid of your own self, but you don't venture outside of yourself. These are the issues. These are the problems. And we have to get rid of it because you look at our people, anywhere you go around the world, you look at our people. Just look at our people all around the world and see if their behavior is not the same. I don't care if you're in Africa, I don't care if you're in America, I don't care if you're in Europe, I don't care if you're in the Caribbean. Our people mentality are the same. That is just the facts of life. You see what I'm saying? It is the facts of life. You can't get around it. You can't. Why do you think that everywhere you go, your people is in the same condition? You think it's by accident or by chance? And yet you are more religious than the people who beat religion into your ancestors. Think about it. And even when your children don't want to go to church, you beat it into them, you force it into them some more. When is it that we're going to stop this foolishness and help our children to see beyond all of this? It is now is the time that we must change it. It is now is the time that we must raise their vibration. Stop lying to your children. Forget about these holidays that you celebrate that doesn't make any sense. Forget about all of these things. None of it belongs to you. Start to look into yourself. Look into your ways before enslavement of your mind and your ancestors' mind and change it. Absolutely, my brother. We have to go back to where none of this fear was any part of us. We must go back to that place and we must recognize because when they came, if you go and research and our ancestors were not fearful people. They were not. You see, so this is what I'm saying. This is the place that we have to go to. We have to go to that place. Who you think fearful people could build pyramids? Do you really think so? Do you think that we were capable of doing these things? What happened? What happened? That's what we need to find out. And we, this generation, you must change this dynamics and stop living the way you are. And as I said the other night, the reality is we're not living an ancient African paradigm. We are living a European paradigm. Whether we want to admit it, yes or no, we are Europeanized. Yes, we look the part of being an African, what they call an African, but we are not in our mind. We were schooled in their mind. We were schooled in their mindset. So now we have to unlearn to relearn. We have to unlearn to relearn and to become who we truly need to become. You see what I'm saying? This is the reality. It's work. It takes time. You have to decolonize your mind. Do you think it's easy to look at your life and say, man, I must put away all the things that I thought was truth? And now realizing that you were living a lie, for you to dismiss, to declutter your mind of all of this corruption and distortion that you were living and think that was the truth. I know it's not easy, but it has to be done in order for you to walk in the path that you must walk, in order to become who you need to become, in order for your children to become what they need to become. You must set a living example. Don't go around and tell your children, oh, do this, do that, do the other, but you are not doing it. That is hypocrisy. The height of hypocrisy is for you to be telling your children what not to do, but they see you doing just what you're telling them not to do. That is the height of hypocrisy. Be true to yourself. And if you're true to yourself, you don't even, a lot of things you don't even have to tell your children to do and not to do. They're going to follow your example. And most of the time, some of the things that our children come to do, it is because of what they see us doing. And because they see you doing it, that is what they are imitating. They become imitators of you. This is what I'm saying is we must transform our way of thinking, be the living example. I'm not saying not to speak it, but when you live it, lots of times you don't even have to repeat it. You don't have to keep repeating it. You don't have to beat it into them. No, you don't. Because they're going to imitate you more than how you think. Your children, a lot of time, is a reflection of you. Whether you want to admit it, yes or no, they are a reflection of who you are. They are displaying you, and you don't like to see it. So you're trying to beat that out of them. Instead of making sure that you remove it from yourself, that your children could see a shift in you, and then they will make a shift in themselves. That's how you make changes. It's not by what you say. Sometimes we talk too much. Yes, what I'm saying is, and that is the issue. We must live. We must live what is in here. We must live it. That's what I'm saying is because who you were living before, you were living as a European before, because that is what is here. So now you need to erase that and become who you need to become and live it. Make the changes. If I get up every day and say, oh, it's good to be a vegan, it's good to eat clean, to eat natural, no meat, no none of these things. And every day you see me eating meat, then what you want to think of me? But if you see me not even speaking what I eat and what I don't eat, but you will see that I'm setting an example, because when you come around me, you will see that, hey, this man, he doesn't eat meat, he doesn't get involved with certain things. I'm living what I'm saying. And if you are my friend or you're someone close to me, you're going to see that I am becoming the example of what I am dealing with on every level. So I'm not trying to bring you into something that is not going to make your life better. You must see my example and say, yes, this brother is living it. He's not just speaking it, but he's living it. You see, so that is what I'm talking about. There's lots of people, because what you learn in the world, the preacher doesn't live what he teaches you from that podium. No, he doesn't. He's a liar. You know that. I know that. Because if he was to speak the truth, then he would have to change and live the truth. He would have to change everything that he does. The same thing with the politicians that you are familiar with. They are liars. They are all liars. Because they will never tell you the truth, and they don't live no truth. You see them, they stand in front of you on television. Then next thing you know, these criminals are going around with how much security they have to be following them around, carrying them around because they know they're living a lie and they're telling lies. That is the difference. So you see the reason why you become what you become, because the example that is in front of you. Why do you think so many people are really think it's okay to steal and do all of these different things? Because the people that they are seeing as an example in front of them, that's what they are. The politicians, the preachers, the teachers, you name it. They're not living the truth. They are not. So that is why society is the way it is. That is why everything is the way it is. And in this age of Aquarius, everything and everyone is being exposed for exactly who they are. And that is the beautiful thing about this time, because people can't hide from who they are anymore. That is the reality. You can't hide from who you truly are anymore. In this dispensation, I don't care who you are, everything is naked and open and exposed. That is the time that you're living in. Yes, you can't hide who you are anymore. It's not possible. This is what we are saying. It is the truth that will prevail, not maybe. The truth will prevail. Whether you like it, yes or no, this is what is happening. Unapologetic truth. Real time. Just look around you. Everything around you with their fake and their false system is crumbling. It is crumbling, literally. In real time, you are seeing it. That is what is happening. Because the lies, they can't dress it up anymore. It is all exposed. And everywhere they turn and they try to do all different kind of things, everything is just, it is just exploding. You see, because this is the time. So what I'm saying is, it is for us to see what is happening, and we must live truth. We must become the I am. Your children must become that, because your children need to put fear aside and they need to become the powerful beings that they were meant to become. You have a job to do. All of us have a job to do. The truth, yes, it has to prevail. And the system have to fall, because the system of lie cannot prevail forever. Many people, because all they see and all they know from the day they come on this plane is a system that is full of lie, and they said it will never change and it can't change. It's not the truth. Never say never, never say can't, because those words should not even exist in your vocabulary. Everything can change very quickly. But a lot of time is because of our mindset why we think that these changes will not come. They will come, and they will come faster than you can imagine. You see, it is up to you to recognize the importance of living the truth and being the truth. You see what I'm saying? So work on yourself. And when you work on yourself, you don't have a lot of work to do on your children, because they will automatically see it. And if you raise your children on in a space where you were feeding them with natural foods, all these children that you raise in this way, they will take to that. You see, a lot of times, oh yeah, I can't do. No, if you take a baby and you never feed it milk, except from its mother's milk, you never feed it any dairy products, it doesn't want that. If you don't feed the baby sugar, it doesn't want it. It's you who are forcing these things upon the children. And as long as you destroy their taste bud, because that's what the system has done to you, as long as you destroy their taste bud, then guess what? That's what's going to happen. And that's what's going to keep happening. And this is what has been happening for generation after generation. That is why you have dentists. If you didn't give your children these sugary items, you would never have, the dentist couldn't have a job. You would need to go to no dentist to go clean your teeth. What I'm saying to all of us is these things might sound simple, but they are very serious. If you didn't eat all this garbage, you think you would need to go to a doctor? So what I'm saying is the whole system is based on nothing but lies and distortion. It is an enslaved mind that you live in and you work in the enslaved mind. The whole system is enslaved because even the doctor is working for the system. The doctor, just as the police and the soldiers are working for the system, is the same thing the doctors is doing. The same thing the lawyers are doing. The same thing everyone in the system that is working, whether they work on radio station, television station, movie star, you name them, athletes, they all working for the system to keep you in the place where you find yourself, in the enslaved mind. So you have work to do to free that mind, to free your mind. It takes time, it takes effort. And you must be willing to put the work in because it is way more than worth it. When I tell you it's way more than worth it, it is way more than worth. There is no money, there is no gold, there is no material things that can add up to a free mind. Because when your mind is free, you will realize that you are not lacking of anything, that you have everything. But because your mind is not free, that's why you have a lack mentality. That is why you're always running and chasing after things, after the illusion. Everyone is chasing it and you are doing the same. And when you realize that you don't need to do a lot of the things that you do, then you come to that place because everything that you need, it will come to you in the right time. People talk about manifestation, but do we truly know what is manifestation? Do we truly understand the importance of sometimes just being in a place, being still? You don't need to go see no guru. You don't need to take up all these programs and buy all these books. You don't need to do all of these things. When you start to really study yourself and come into yourself and self start truly to communicate with you, then you will see such a huge difference in your life that it is going to be amazing. But it's totally up to you to start to study yourself and make these necessary changes. Yes, my brother, that is true. It's a violation. You see what I'm saying? You can violate your own children because your children come for a purpose. And you must find out what the purpose is. I had podcasts already where I tell brothers and sisters, I say, listen, when in places like Mali, where the Dogons are, when they used to have their children on the seventh day, when they bring the children out to do a naming ceremony for the children, they will hold the child up to the ancestor and say to the ancestors, this is an ancestor that has returned. We need to know the purpose of the return of this ancestor. So what do you need to do? Is to study your child. If you study your child, that child will tell you exactly what it is here for and to do. And if you allow that child to do what it is here to do, you will see true brilliance. But because of the enslaved mind that we find ourselves in, we are not free enough to allow our children to become what they need to become. And that's why I said it starts with you. It starts and ends with you. Because when you come into this place, where you cleanse yourself, the mind, the physical temple, then you will see some amazing things. And you will see your children thrive. You will see your children become something and someone very beautiful that you will sit back and amaze and thinking like, wow. Because the thing is, as I said before, you don't have to beat your children into submission. You don't have to do none of these things because all of the things that you are doing and think you are doing something good, you are actually damaging the child. You're actually destroying a beautiful species, a person that come, a soul that come on this planet to develop into something wonderful. You see what I'm saying? Yes, greetings, my sister. Greetings. Give thanks for forwarding in. Yeah, you will help your child to develop into a beautiful, beautiful soul because you see, then they will be free and they will soar to heights that you can never imagine because there is no limit. You are a limitless being. But as long as you live and stay in the enslaved mind, you're going to place all the limitation in on yourself that they place upon you. But when your mind is free, you will realize that there is no limitation. You see what I'm saying? Yes, you free your mind and the temple will follow. Free your mind. This is the reality. When the mind is free, when you start to really see from that aspect, then I'm telling you, you come into a place where you look at everything and you say to yourself, how didn't I see this? How didn't I know this? How come? Because the reality is you couldn't see it because you had a veil over your face. You were lost in time and space. Yes. But when you allow yourself to open up to the real realization of what is taking place, then everything will change. And it's not going to take an eternity because most of us, we are afraid of changes. We're afraid of changes. And again, fear, it's an illusion. So if you come out of the fear-based state and you accept changes, things will happen in rapid succession. Is what I'm saying. It's not going to take long for things to change because the mind, you realize the past, the present, and the future is existing all at the same time. It is. These are the things that we must understand. This is very important for us to understand that everything is happening at the same time. That is why you don't need to worry about tomorrow. You don't need to waste your time spending, the future. No, I have to have this. No, just let everything become free flowing, just like water, just like the river. It's just meandering down to the ocean. Nothing can obstruct it to stop it. Become that water. Become the free being that you were meant to be. Make your ancestors proud of you. Honor your ancestors. Revere your ancestors. Honor them because it is important that you honor and recognize your ancestors because your ancestors is you. It is through them that you came forth. So always honor your ancestors and stop denying yourself. This is what I'm saying. It's no blood of Jesus is going to save you. No. It's not. We don't walk that road. That road is not for us. We are not Europeans. We are a different people. We are a different species. We are. But we think we are the same. You have been fooled. You see what I'm saying? They take away everything that is you and they train you to become them. That is the problem. And no matter how much you become like them, they will never accept you because they never accept themselves. That is the reality. They don't love themselves. They don't love themselves. You think these people love themselves? No, they don't. You think they love each other? No, they don't. They don't know what the meaning of that word is. You get my drift? They don't have no idea. They just repeat these phrases like when you train a bird to speak, but they don't know the true meaning of that. And that is why I am saying this is where it's at. It is your mental space, your mind. And when you free this, then you will see what I'm talking about. This is important to liberate your mind. You see, I just want every one of you on here tonight, especially those who have children, to stop enslaving the mind of your children. And if you're one who feel like discipline is beating your children, you're wrong. That's what they want you to do. Don't put fear into your children. Teach them love. Teach them to love themselves. Teach them to honor themselves. Teach them to feel to be great, to become the greatest version of themselves. That is what you need to do to your children. Make them become the greatest version of themselves that could ever be. But it's up to you to free the next generation. It is totally up to each and every one of you to really free yourself, because when you free yourself, then you will automatically start to free your children, because they will see the changes that you are making and they themselves will start to make changes too. But if you're not living it, they're not going to live it. They're going to do what you do. Whether you like it, yes or no, they are going to. And if you're living the truth, and if they even go astray, they will come forward to it. Because they're going to realize the lie is not for them. They might venture, but they're going to come right into the place where they left off. And that's the reality. So it's not as hard and as difficult as you think to change things. It's not. Things is easy to change because in the mental space that you find yourself, once you free your mind, you realize nothing in life is as difficult as you think it was. Before, when you were not free, you think everything is hard, everything is difficult. You see, once you realize your energy and how powerful you are, for instance, if you say, okay, I want to be a millionaire, and you sit down, you start to really look into things and you see a brilliant idea come to your mind. And once you make the first million or the second million, then you look at yourself and you think like, wow. Because the thing, it is not difficult. It is just your mind that is corrupted, that is telling you that life is difficult, to make money is difficult. It's not. I have to agree. You see, the thing is that, yeah, you see, we are water, and the thing is that the funny thing is, as you mentioned about not able to swim, I agree. The reality is that we have to change all these things. We have to come into that place where, we stop telling ourselves, because even when it comes to our children, for instance, we if they go into the water, we get very scared. Is what I'm saying, is because a lot of us, we can't swim. We don't try to. It's not that even we can't. We can, but we tell ourselves so much that we can't. So we make it impossible for our children. And that's what I'm saying. You have to stop teaching your children fear. And once we stop teaching our children fear, then everything will change. Everything must change. It will change for the better. But it's up to you to free them, remove the enslaved mind. So yes, I completely agree. You see what I'm saying is these are the things that we must do. We have the ability. We change how we eat, we change how we think. That is the reality. So man thinks, so is he. Man or woman. Or we think, so we are. Because what we are feeding ourselves, this is what I'm saying, is either freeing our mind or is contaminating our mind. Because if your inner self is contaminated, then your mind is going to be contaminated. So it is time to free your mind from the contamination of the system because the system is toxic. The system doesn't want you to rise. It wants to keep you in an enslaved mind because that's how it cannot benefit from your energy if you are not in an enslaved mind. It is easy to make the system collapse on itself once you come out of that enslaved mind. And it just takes enough of us to come out of that enslaved mind to make the system collapse on itself. It doesn't even take the majority. It just takes enough, you see. Because once things start turning a certain direction, guess what? The rest will follow. You know that. We know that. You see what I'm saying? That is just the bottom line. So it's not as difficult as sometimes we make it think that it is difficult. It is not as difficult. You see, once, for instance, if you change how you eat and you come into this place where you start to say, wow, you see your life start to transform. You see, if you were overweight, you lose the weight very quickly. And now you're seeing your facial features changes, your whole temple start to change and to transform in an amazing way. You yourself will look and think like, wow, why didn't I do this before? I've seen it so many times. I've heard it so many times because it is true. Things is only difficult when you make them difficult. You see, if you think the system is difficult and the system will never change, it's not going to change. But when you come into that place and you start to say, yes, I see the need to make the necessary changes, and you start to do it, then you will see everything fall in place. It says, what of course, that of course is the purpose of how we can nourish. Oh, you see, the thing is that if I tell most brothers and sisters on here, say, when it comes to your temple, the nourishment of temple, you see, one of the things that we hate, a lot of us hate, is you see bitters. Bitters is very important to your temple. But most of us, we don't like that. We don't like those things because we think when things are bitter or the taste is awful, it's because you're not used to it. It's because you wasn't, a lot of times we were not getting a lot of things into our system from we were young. You see, I could say for myself that from I was young, I was had to take bitters. Didn't really have a choice. Didn't like the way that it was done, but you know what I realized even in my adulthood, I am very happy that I was taking it because it keeps your blood clean, keeps the parasites away from you, and even if you eat things that have these parasite in them, in those years before I cut off all of these meats and all these different things, you see, the parasite can't stay in that space. If your temple is on more in an alkaline level, the parasite can't live in alkalinity. They can't survive. Is what I'm saying. So we have to come into this place where we realize that all of the foods that we are eating with the sweets and all of these things that the system is creating, it is to keep us in a low vibrational state, even though it tastes good. Even though you think that, oh man, this is like the taste is like, it's the taste that is keeping you in that place because they already pollute your taste bud. If they didn't pollute your taste bud, then the right foods for you to eat, you would not have a problem in eating them. And you would see the difference in yourself because what you need, it is not just food. You need electrical charge. And most food that you eat does not give you any electrical charge. It is actually a filler. That's what it is. It is just filling your stomach. And usually, after you eat, you feel like you want to go to sleep. When you eat electrical charge food, it makes you vibrate very high. That means you have a lot of energy. So when you eat most food that are uncooked, for instance, if you go eat some ripe bananas, I'm not talking these fake ones that are in the state, outside of the state. If you go get the right kind of banana, the right kind of fruits, and you eat them, you will feel amazing. You get some good water, coconut, and drink all of these fruits, you will find you vibrate on a level that you could never imagine. This is what I'm saying is this is a lot of things out there, and you don't need a lot of food. You don't. You don't need all the things that they tell you. It's 3 square meal a day. All of that is a lie. That's what I'm saying. We have to come out of that enslaved mindset because that is for them to keep you on the working assembly line to keep enriching them and their system and to keep you in a low vibrational state. When you come out of that state and you start to make these necessary changes, you will see how fast things will change for you. Yes, it's necessary. You see what I'm saying is know yourself, love yourself, accept yourself. And I'm not talking about the fake love that they speak of, because love go way deeper than that. You see what I'm saying? Yes, we're not talking about emotionalism. We're talking about vibrating on a very high frequency to make the necessary changes to break the cycle of the enslaved mind. That's what we must do. You see, so, in order for us to grow and come to the next level, yes, greetings, my brothers and sisters. Greetings, Freddie. Give thanks. These are the things that we are talking about. So, we have to come to that place where we don't allow ourselves to stay in these places where we are vibrating on a low frequency. You see, yes, you are welcome, my sister. See, the thing is, as I said, we are here to uplift each other. And as I said to brothers and sisters, you know what? If I'm on here, and if I am not here to uplift, I'm not here, like a lot of these apps are, these podcasts, you will see them. All they're doing is begging money to send money to their podcast and to do whatever it is. That's not the purpose of this podcast. This is the purpose of this podcast is to uplift. You see, I don't see myself as better than you in any way. Like I tell brothers and sisters who know me, know. If you send me an email, I respond to your email. If a brother and sister say, okay, I want to talk to you, I talk to them one on one. These are the things that we have to do. We have to share. You see what I'm saying? This is what natural way of living is all about. This is where we make the necessary changes. We come together as a community to commune together, to reason together, to uplift each other. Money can't make me better than you. Material things cannot make me better than you. You see what I'm saying is these are the things we must change. So in any way that I can help to uplift you by showing you the way, by reasoning with you, show you what I personally do to get into the space that I am. You see what I'm saying this? In order for you to grow. Because when you grow, it helped me. In the sense, it's great joy to see one grow into their awareness. You see what I'm saying? Why wouldn't I want you to become even stronger spiritually than I am? Of course, because it's going to make life better and easier for me. The thing is, that's what I said. When our people don't see the need to uplift each other, to come out of the enslaved mind and to say, okay, if I'm a millionaire, if all my people become millionaire, then what do I have to worry about? But we don't think that way because of the enslaved mind. We don't see it that way because of the enslaved mind. If I have a house and my brothers and sisters don't have a house, I shouldn't feel like I'm better than them. No, I should be able to see ways that I can free up whatever it is that they can come into that place themselves. You see what I'm saying? That's what we're supposed to do. The enslaved mind is going to make us feel like, oh, I don't want this guy or this sister or this brother to come into this place where I am at. No, we have to change that thinking. When you see your brothers and sisters, because in all truth, like I said, the real family become your spiritual family. Because when you come into the right vibration, you will realize that even your family is going to be against you. So if your very family that's supposed to be the people who, according to what we think before we come out of the enslaved mind, the people that's supposed to embrace you, then who is going to embrace you? If you're spiritual family. So you can't tell me you're spiritual if you're not there to uplift your brothers and your sisters. No, you're not. You're a liar. And the truth is not in you. That is just the facts of life. But you're not going to uplift people who are not uplifting you. You're not going to reach out to people who are not reaching out to. You see, we don't want to be in this thing, in this religious mentality where there's always more happiness in giving than there is receiving. That is a lie. Giving is reciprocal. And you give, you must expect to receive. That is the way nature works. That is the way the universe works. This is why the church never give you anything, because they already set the pattern for you not to expect to receive anything. But you're not aware of that. You only thinking of some lies that when you get to some place called heaven, you will receive yours. That is a straight lie. It's not more happiness in giving than there is in receiving. No, it's not true. Put that out of your mind. I'm not saying not to give, but giving is reciprocal. Okay? When you put a grain into Mother Earth, any seed into Mother Earth, she multiply and give you several more. One seed can bring you millions of seeds, millions of grains. That is the truth. So this is how we should see things. Polarity. It is real. You see what I'm saying? Yes, it is great to reason with you guys, to be here. Oh yes, my brother, as I said, when it comes to a community, I don't know of a specific community. What I am, and a few brothers and sisters that I know, we are putting ourselves together, right? We are working on building small communities that we can develop, grassroots movements. That is where we are working on. These are the things we are working on. These are where full encouraging brothers and sisters to say, listen, we have to put our resources together and we have to develop ourselves. We can't depend on any system and the government to do these things. We have to do it. And so that is what I'm saying, is when the like-mindedness come together, it is going to make things a lot easier for each other. And so, yes, this is the path that we must take. And we must come into the place where we're not suspicious of each other, because you can't be a spiritual person and yet you say, oh, I don't, this brother and this sister, I don't trust them with my, to do this or that or the other. No, because if you are truly spiritual, you're not going to run away with anyone's money. You're not going to try to steal from your brothers and sisters. No, you're not going to do that. You're not going to do any of those things. Because you have integrity, is what I'm saying. That is the truth. And that is the place and the space that we must live in and dwell in. Yes, be true to yourself. first and foremost, and then you will be true to everyone else around you. And that is part of releasing the enslaved mind, you see. Yeah, man. So I give thanks for the item to come in and vibrating with I and, holding these reason. This is what I say, because we have to reason together. We have to come into the place of oneness, where we can hold these vibration. You see what I'm saying? Give thanks in a standing over standing. Yeah, man. Papa, yeah, but yeah, give thanks for the item. I truly appreciate the item. Yeah, man, because the item come in and always support the podcast. That's what I say. And this is what we must do. We must support each other. See it. Yeah, man. Much gratitude, Z Master. Yeah, man. Give thanks for the item. Um, for the love that the item always show, see, share these things with those who are like-minded, see, that's what we must do, is to share the good things with others that they can uplift themselves, see. And that's why I said it is a coming together of greater minds. That's what I say. Yeah, man. So have a great rest of the evening, night, depends on where you are on this plane. Seeing, just take care of the eye themselves, be strong, be positive, be powerful, and become your greater self by dismissing, coming out of the cycle of the enslaved mind and become your true self, the greater version of the I am. Yeah, man, give thanks as always and forever. Yeah, man, love and life all the time, every time. Seeing?